Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel again. 2025, it's almost over. Well, today is the last day, 31st of December, and 2026 is coming up. I'm so excited that I just wish my 2025 would just go away. I just can't wait for 2026. It's gonna be so many exciting things, and throughout all these years, I've learned a lot. How to become an entrepreneur, how to become a better programmer, and a lot of things that I've learned that I'm ready to launch in 2026. I'm so excited for 2026. I hope you are as well. But firstly, Happy New Year 2026. In today's video, I'm going to show you some of the things and the tools and the tips that I think that might be useful for you to be ready for 2026. So today's video, I'm going to show you some of my 7 things that I want to show you today that I think you need instead of that thing. Like you know what I mean? Like, do this, use this, don't use this. Let's just get started. And the first thing I want to talk about is language learning. Everyone wants to learn a new language, and everyone is using Duolingo. Duolingo is great, it's famous, it has a lot of features, and then it's super famous and it's fun. The strikes every day just feels productive. I don't really like Duolingo because I just feels like it's great to learn about the words and the grammars and stuff, but it really couldn't teach me how to speak. But the point of learning a new language is to speak the language, to be able to speak the language. So I'm using an app now which is called iSense, and I have been using that for months. Well, I'm sort of like jumping around in terms of the languages I'm trying to learn: Spanish, French, Japanese, and it's like a real life talking with AI instead of just having strikes, completing some fill in the blank or something. So it will really force you to speak, because this app is mostly about speaking. And apart from that, learn from YouTube. You don't have to pay for anything, it is free. What you really need is just to be consistent and disciplined to learn the language every day. So I would suggest this app if you want to learn about languages. Also, most importantly, talk to people. When you're traveling, try and speak the language with the locals. You will be surprised how much you will learn, or how much they're willing to teach you the language. And the second point, if you want to do freelancing in 2026, most people will go for Fiverr, Upwork. I personally, I couldn't say I don't like it, but it just have a lot of scams in there. It has a lot of people trying to do bad things there. For example, when you first sign up, you will see a lot of people trying to text you. They were just like, "Oh, I'm looking for this service. Can I send you something through email instead?" Which in general, those links or document that they're gonna send you, it's basically just some unhealthy stuff and not good. If you wanted to do freelancing or sell something, I would recommend this website, which is called Rule. It just set up your store straight away. You don't have to set up like a Stripe payment page or like another website for hosting your product or services. I personally love this website. I can sell anything, sell products, sell services, sell subscriptions. I can get payment requests here. I don't have to set up external Stripe account. And it's just making my life easier, and it's so easy to use, and it's convenient. Because you might be thinking like, Upwork, Fiverr, they're gonna promote your stuff out, people is gonna see you, right? But now the market is getting so crowded. You really need to stand out by yourself, by showing up on social medias, do more networking on LinkedIn, external events, instead of just relying on Upwork and Fiverr. Personally, don't feel like they're much useful. And number 3, everyone wants to learn AI. We are in the age of AI and our age of technology. Everyone wants to learn AI, but how do you get started? How would I suggest you to get started? Obviously, you can start somewhere. And for some people that's busy, that doesn't have the time, doesn't have the discipline or everything, Bootcamp probably is like the way to go, or maybe enrolling university course. But I personally prefer Manning. If you have heard of Manning, which as you can see, I bought a lot of books here. The books are amazing, and then you can read online, live. You can read the books here, and you got everything here. I just feel like it's an amazing site that I can basically make notes, I can have links, I can create discussions. To be honest, you should definitely learn AI by yourself, because AI is moving so fast that no boot camps is able to catch up. I don't prefer you to enroll in any bootcamp, but I prefer this way of learning, which is learning from books and online courses. Like Udemy, Coursera, it's great, but enrolling in bootcamp or even learning to code, I don't find it useful. And next, if you want to learn coding, just general coding, just basically just understand the website's gonna work, or don't want to rely much on AI because AI is just making your website or your software worse because you don't understand the code and you want to learn coding now. So how do you learn coding in the age of AI? Most people would just say, oh, you can just go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to suggest you some topics. But if you really want to learn about the theory and everything behind programming, don't use ChatGPT. Just learn the basic way, learn the fundamentals through theories, textbook, YouTube videos, search the resources online yourself. Don't make the learning so easy for yourself, because you will give up eventually and then it's not fun to learn that way. Because like learning is something, it's all about discovering and also exploring to learn, exploring the details yourself. If you ask ChatGPT every question you have about programming, you can't learn anything. They answer your questions, but then it's not, you're not gonna remember that. Your brain literally didn't work at all trying to learn that. So if you want to learn programming, go back to the fundamentals, go back to the theories, learn the fundamentals through YouTube courses, MIT course, OpenCourseWare, books. Don't ask ChatGPT. And next, if you want to start a startup, I'm not gonna talk about how to start a startup, but I'm gonna talk about like what server you're gonna use, because that's very important for me. Like, where are you going to deploy DigitalOcean's render your software? Definitely, I wouldn't suggest you to deploy on AWS straight away, because you're gonna end up having to pay a lot of costs in there. I would suggest you to use Railway. They're free to start, but don't use AWS at first if you want to start a startup. That's another tip I really wanted to tell people to, save up something first in the beginning of your building stage. Because AWS literally gonna charge you a lot in the beginning, and I don't like it. It's great for big scalable sites, but when you just get started, we're just trying to test the idea, you don't need AWS. So that's another tip you need to remember. Another thing I want to touch is productivity. For the whole year, how are you going to stay productive and consistent for the whole year? First, you're going to download a lot of tools, you're going to download a lot of software just to make yourself organized. But being productive, the science of being productive is actually knowing what to do and accomplish the small thing. Get the small things done well instead of having a lot of big tasks during the day. It's more about knowing how to be organized with your own daily life and break down the big chunk of tasks, your 1 month goal, into different smaller accomplishable tasks. Because from what I've experienced, being productive and disciplined and being consistent is all about being able to accomplish and get the small things done well. You don't need Notions apps or any productivity app, something. Also, this way can prevent you burnout, because you don't want to burn out, right? And next, in the age of 2026, AI, everyone wants to build personal brand. Everyone wants to build social medias. Everyone wants to be famous. So how do you start? First, you need to analyze what personal brand, what are you trying to build? What are you trying to accomplish? What's your brand? And second, you need to understand who are your audience mostly? And where are they? Are they mostly in Instagram, or are they mostly in LinkedIn, or are they on YouTube? And also try to understand different channels has different needs, has different requirements and different type of audiences. For example, LinkedIn is mostly for professional networking, connections, businesses. But Instagram is more like shorts with your friends, show your audience more about lifestyle. So it depends on what you need or what you're trying to show. You need to be clear on which platform you're going to use. Don't start with all platforms, because that's going to burn you out unless you have someone to help you out. But initially you don't have that. So be clear on what the things that I have mentioned.